ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਸੋਚ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ। ਮੈਂ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਕਾਲੀਰਾਏ। ਕਾਫੀ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਔਰ ਜੋ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਬੀਤੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੱਲ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਨੇ 2-3 ਫੈਸਲੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਾਫੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਖੁਸ਼ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਨਾਰਾਜ਼ ਵੀ ਨੇ। ਇੱਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਸੁਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਨ ਰਾਈਟਸ ਦੀ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਕੇਸ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਕੰਸੀਲਡ ਕੈਰੀ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਡੀ ਤੇ ਛੁਪ ਕੇ ਪਿਸਤੌਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੀ ਹੱਕ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ। ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਪਾਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, ਹੋਰ ਸਟੇਟਾਂ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ। ਉਸ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਸੀਲਡ ਕੈਰੀ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਪਾਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਗਾਈਆਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ, ਔਰ ਉਸ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਰਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਈ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਏਰੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੰਨਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਿਸਤੌਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਇਲਾਕਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਪਿਸਤੌਲ ਕੰਸੀਲਡ ਕੈਰੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਕ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਹੱਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਆਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਜਾਣੇ 'ਚ। ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਰਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟਡ ਬਣ ਗਈਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ। ਮਾਲਸ ਹੈ, ਸਕੂਲਸ ਹੈ, ਹੋਰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੋਟਲਸ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਪਾਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਲੀਗਲੀ ਲਗਾਈਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਦੀ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਕਾਫੀ ਨਿਮਰਤਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿੰਨੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਨਾਊਂਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਕਾਫੀ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵਲੀ ਹੈਗਾ। ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਨੇ ਸੁਣਾਇਆ, ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੀ ਰੋ ਵੀ ਵੇਡ। ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 1977 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਨੇ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਸੁਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਰੋ ਵੀ ਵੇਡ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਚੈਲੰਜ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਲੀਗਲ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੋਵੇ, ਲੋੜ ਹੋਵੇ, ਉਹ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ। ਉਹ ਸਮਾਂ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਿਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਕਿਸ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਇਜ਼ ਜਾਂ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਲੀਗਲ ਹੈਗਾ। ਕਾਫੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਔਰ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਮੁਲਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੱਕ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਮਾਂ ਬਣਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਪੇਟ 'ਚ ਬੱਚਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੱਕ ਆ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾਉਣੀ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸਾਡੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਡਾ ਹੱਕ ਆ। ਕਈਆਂ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਟਰਾਈਮੈਸਟਰ 'ਚ ਕਰਾ ਲਓ ਔਰ 20 ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਰਾ ਲਓ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਲਿਮਿਟ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਚੈਲੰਜ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ, ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। ਸਾਇੰਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਕਈ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਜਦ ਉਹ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੇਟ 'ਚ ਜਾਂ ਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੇਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ, ਉਹਦੀ ਜਦ ਹਾਰਟ ਬੀਟ, ਉਹਦਾ ਦਿਲ ਧੜਕਦਾ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਆ, ਤੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਆ ਵੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਨ ਪਈ ਹੋਈ ਆ, ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਾਨ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਕਈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹ ਬੱਚੇ ਗਰਭ ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਗੈਰ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਕੰਮ, ਚਾਹੇ ਰੇਪ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ, ਚਾਹੇ ਬਲਾਤਕਾਰ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ, ਉਸ ਕਾਰਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ, ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ, ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਲੋਕ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਉਸ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਦੇ ਟਾਈਮ, ਉਸ ਹਰਕਤ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਕਈ ਮਸਲੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਔਰ ਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਨ ਦਾ ਖਤਰਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਜਾਨ ਬਚਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਰਾ ਆ, ਤੇ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਜਾਇਜ਼ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਕਈ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, ਚਾਹੇ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਚਲ ਜਾਓ, ਚਾਹੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਚਲ ਜਾਓ, ਚਾਹੇ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਚਲ ਜਾਓ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਗੱਲ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ, ਫੈਡਰਲ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਹੱਕ ਔਰ ਇਨਕਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੀ। ਇਹ ਹਰੇਕ ਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਆ, ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਹੋਇਆ, ਨਿਵਾਡਾ ਹੋਇਆ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਕ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੇ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ਨਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਬਣਾਏ ਜਾਣ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ, ਉਹ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਅਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਭਗੋੜਾ ਨਾਲ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਮਸਲਾ ਸੀ। ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ, ਸਿੱਖੀਜ਼ਮ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ, ਰਹਿਤ ਮਰਿਆਦਾ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਇਹ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਧਰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਖਿਆਲਾਤ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਆਓ ਮਿਲੀਏ ਅਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਭਗੋੜਾ ਨਾਲ। ਅਮੀਤ ਜੀ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ। ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਥੋੜਾ ਲੈਂਥੀ ਜਿਹਾ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ, but carry on, and people have met you, but for the reference of the audience, can you tell us about Ameet Singh very briefly?
Waheguru Ji Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Fateh. I'm in Sacramento, California right now, but I'm born in Fiji Island, and we practice Sikhism over there, and my Sikhi came to USA. I've been in USA for 22 years now, and in 2016 I became the student of the politics in USA, understanding about liberalism, progressiveness, conservatism, and libertarian, and everything about politics. In 2017 is when I was born in Sikhi, but 2017 is, I believe, I really became a Sikh when my awakening of Sikhi happened, and that's when I let my hair grow and start growing my beard and start wearing my turban, and I became a student of Sikhi. And today I'm a full-time student of politics and religion.
Thank you, Amit Ji. My intro was related to the recent Supreme Court decisions. One was on the concealed carry. I see the sign behind you that says, due to the price of ammunition, we don't fire any warning shots. I want to have that discussion with you some other time on the Second
Yes, sir.
Amendment and Guruji's instruction to Sikhs for having the Kirpan. How does it correlate to today's times? But that's a separate discussion. Today's discussion is on the Supreme Court decision, which came out a couple of weeks back on abortion. Now, interestingly, Supreme Court had a leak. So mostly we knew many weeks ago that the leaked information on abortion was that the Supreme Court was going to overturn what was the landmark decision known as Roe v. Wade. In my view, what the Supreme Court has done is taken the matter out of the hands of the federal government. They could still do things and legislate and pass congressional laws to provide means of appeasing the people who want abortion, if that's the best way to say it. But it gave the rights to the states, so the states can choose as to what they want to do. And California has come out providing a lot of services and opening the doors to people out of other states where abortion may be restricted to having abortion in this state, and they're providing legal protections and stuff from any prosecution that may result. But we are going to talk about abortion, Sikhism, and Rahat Maryada. So, following on from our previous discussion, let's leave the legal aspects aside. Let's look at it from where does Gurbani come into this thing. We know from our previous discussion that the whole purpose of Gar Gristi is to have a family. A couple, a man and a wife, get married, and their whole sole purpose, Domurti type of principle, two bodies, one soul, migration as a result of the marriage, thinking like one entity. And the other piece that we talked about last time, it was reproduce the next generation. You are not family until you have your children. So carrying on from there, if in Sikhism, in Sikh Rahat Maryada, you are destined to marry a spouse, and that marriage we defined last time you discussed with us that is technically, culturally, religiously a marriage between a man and a woman, and the intention is to be soulmates and reproduce, have a family. So if the Riyada and Sikhism says you need to have a family, where does abortion come into this?
Okay. I will start with the Gurbani, with the Pankti from Gurbani, from the Bani, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And this is the Bani of Sache Patsha Guru Maharaj Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Ang 1013, Pankti Sora. I'm going to translate just straight in English. Through the union of and father, the fetus is formed. The egg and sperm together to make the. So Maharaji was born in 1469, and he even at that time knew about the egg and the sperm. And then he says it here, through the union of mother and father is formed. Now I'm going to go further on, and I will go to again Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Pasha Ang 74. This is a very important one. It says here, in the first watch of the night, O my merchant friend, you were cast into the womb by the Lord's command. We explain there's a Maharajina used uh, the first watch of the night. According to the Gurbani, we have 4 watches of our first night. The first watch of the night is when conception happens. The second watch of the night, when we're born, when we come out of our mother's womb, is when our first watch of the night happens. The third watch of the night is when we are young adult, when we become youth. The fourth, transforming from youth to young adult, is the third watch of the night. Fourth watch of the night is the day we die, when the death comes. Now, before explaining this, I like to explain our Guru Granth Sahib Ji does not have narratives. It is all on poems. And so you have to understand that when he says first of the watch of the night, and then Guru Sahib Ji used the word, oh my merchant friend. So he's saying, oh my merchant friend. Why is he calling us a merchant friend? Because we always trading, we human being, whether we are in the mom's womb or we are a human being coming out of the mom's, we always trading. If I want to buy food, I will trade it with money. Or if I want to ask somebody for food, I will trade with love, ask with a lot of kindness and affection. Hey, can I have share your food with you? Or we always making deals with even our spouses. You do this for me, I do that for you. We make deals with our kids. If you do this for me, I will do this for you. We always making trades, even when property sharing and when it takes place. There's always a trade going on. So the Guru Maharaj refers to as a merchant friend, and the real meaning behind is this: the Guru Maharaj is saying, stop being a merchant. Be what Bani says. Follow that. Do not even ask for trade. For example, we go to do a we're making a trade with the Vaheguruji. You do this for me, and I'll do it for you. Okay, so that's why. So now I'm going to go back again. In the first watch of the night, O my merchant friend, you were cast into the womb by the Lord's command. The first watch of the night is when conception happened. And Guru Maharaj in the previous Bani explained that when the man and woman makes love, the sperm meets the egg and the conception happens. Upside down within the womb, you perform penance, O my merchant friend, and you pray to your Lord and Master. You uttered prayers to your Lord and Master while upside down, and you meditated on Him with deep love and affection. Basically, the Guru Maharaj saying the conception happened when sperm and the egg met. And now, as you're growing, you're doing a penance, you're doing a prayer to Vaheguruji, please Sache Pasha, whatever happens, please protect me and save me. Even the baby in the mother's womb is praying to Vaheguru, to the mom, because knows even mom can make mistake. If not careful, she falls. I will. If mom goes on a muddy road and she slips, I will die. Goes on an icy road, I die. And even the baby doesn't even trust his mom and is asking for protection from the Vaheguru and praying and doing the penance and saying, Vaheguruji, let me be born and I will devote my whole life to praying to you. Namjapana. Then carries on from there. Again, Pangti, Satara, Ang, 74, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. You came into this dark age of Kali Yuga and you shall depart again naked. As God's pen has written on your forehead, so it shall be with your soul. And this is all happening in the watch of the night. And the first watch of the night is the conception, when the egg met when the sperm met the egg. So soul is given when the conception. You came into this dark age of Kali Yuga naked, you shall depart again naked. As God's pen has written on your forehead, so it shall be with your soul. So says Nanak, in the fifth of the night, by of the Lord's command, you enter the womb. Clearly, clearly, the Bani says it. Now, I can again go further with Guru Ramdas Ji. Ang 76, Pankti 11. In the first watch of the night, O my merchant friend, the Lord places you in the womb. When was the first watch of the night? When was the first watch of the night? Previously explained, when the conception happened, when the egg met the womb. Guru Ramdas is saying, the Lord places you in the womb, the soul. You meditate on the Lord and chant the Lord's name. Oh, my merchant friend, you contemplate the name of the Lord, Har Har, because you want to be saved. You want to be born. 9 months is a dangerous place for a baby to be. And he or she is just meditating, Har Har, Har Har. Please, Vaheguru, keep me safe here because I want to be born. Chanting the name of the Lord, Har Har, and meditating on it within the fire of the womb, your life is sustained by dwelling on the Naam. The mom's womb is like a fire for you, and you're only sustained by the name of the Naam and nothing else. Okay? So, it basically clearly explains in the Bani the conception is when the soul came in. We have to differentiate between a human body and a soul. Once we understand that part, we will truly understand what is right and wrong.
Thank you, Ameet. This is a great opportunity for a break, and we'll discuss the other points. So, ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦੀ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਦੇਵੋ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਸੋਚ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ। ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਅਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਭਗੌੜਾ ਨਾਲ, ਜੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਕਨਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਔਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਜਦ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਸਮਝਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ। ਤੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਸੋਚ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਕਾਲੀਰਾਏ, ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਅਮੀਤ ਭਗੌੜਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਨਾਲ। ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ, ਜੋ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੀ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਨੇ ਰੋ ਵੀ ਵੇਡ ਓਵਰਟਰਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਔਰ ਜੋ ਤੇ ਚਰਚਾ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਆਪਣੇ ਅਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਆ ਇਹ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਲਾਗੂ ਹੈ, ਜਾਇਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਆ ਜਦ ਜਾਨ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ 'ਚ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਗਰਭ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਹੁਣ ਅਮੀਤ ਜੀ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਬੈਕ ਆਫਟਰ ਦ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ। The discussion is scientifically they've had various levels when they say there's life. Many times they describe it like you did, life is at conception. Many times they say life is when there's a heartbeat, and other people say no, life is when the baby is born. So there's a lot of timelines expressed in terms of what's out there. Many abortion advocates are even advocating for aborting a born child. Those are separate issues. only on the grounds that sort of there's a case in California, in the Stockton area, when a pregnant mother was murdered, and the killer, in this case her husband, was charged with not one murder but two murders. So the baby is still in the womb, and in this case, the murderer was charged with not killing his wife only, but killing the unborn child. So there's a dilemma there. Legally, you can be charged with murder, but on the other side, you can do an abortion and then nothing there. Leaving that aside, on the description that you just gave, on what Gurbani says about the conception, the life, the soul, Guru Ramdas Ji, Guru Nanak, in the various verses from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Once the conception has happened, once the baby is growing in the womb, based on what you just told us before the break, what is there, if any, a right to abort that baby? Now, let me give you a scenario. This mother and I have a baby. I don't want it. I didn't plan it right. I want an abortion. That's one scenario. The second scenario is there's an issue of health. If the baby goes full term, mother and child may die, or one of them may survive. As any of those two options a valid reason to abort?
Very difficult question to answer all that. But I will stick to Sikhi. Sikhi
Yes.
has two versions, Manmukh and Gurmukh. Manmukh is the one that wants to do abortion, and Gurmukh takes everything as a hukum. And Gurmukh is the one that says, Meta Murakya, Meta Agyaniya, Bani, Bhai Guruji, you tell me what to do. Manmukh is saying, I know what I know. I know what to do and I know what not to do. I can decide who will live and I can decide who will die. Gurmukh says, no, I know nothing. Main mura kya. They go by the Bani. Bani, you asked me 2-3 questions there, so I'm trying to address each one of them. We don't kill at all. We protect. And I will tell you this, I'm going to go a little bit history. And when I'll tell this history, I will open can of worms. And I'm afraid to do that, but it is what I'm going to start with. When the invasion happens, when Mughal invaded us, Islam invaded us, or British invaded us, in Islam, when jihadis came or invasion comes in, they give bounties to their soldiers. And the bounties is the loot from the invasion. And the looting is not only the material stuff, but you can take people as slaves, and you can even rape women. And they were even sold in Baghdad, in Afghanistan. Women were taken and sold, and that's when Khalsa Panth went and rescued them. That's another story for another day. And those babies were born from rapes through the invasion, were not killed, were not aborted. Maybe because medical advancement was not there. Sometimes when I look at myself in the mirror, I see a Mongolian eyes in me. If I'll do a DNA check, there will be some Mongolian in me. If my ancestral mother would have done abortion, I won't be sitting here and talking with you. In Japji Sahib, there's a pankti, Sabna likhya vudi kalam. Ang 3, page 3, pankti 15. Sabna likhya vudi kalam. We're all inscribed by the ever-flowing pen of God. That means the pen of God is still flowing. When a soul is given, a soul dies and is given another body. And where the conception happens, according to the karma and misdeeds and deeds. Certain souls is given to certain bodies, in what country they're born, who will be the mom and dad, will have missing limb or will have legs missing or will be deaf or blind. That is all soul is given to that body to live a life. That is a hukum. Now the choices comes in. If I kill that baby, that becomes a hukum. If I don't kill that baby, it's become a hukum. Sabna likya buri kalam ang punch page 3 line 15. We're all inscribed by the event, we're all inscribed by the ever-flowing pen of God. We are more worried about this body, what this body goes through, and we forget about the soul. The soul's purpose is to have moksha, to join back to Vaheguru. And you will be given, every woman and every man will go through troubled times, but you do not come and change and alter the course of the Vaheguru. And Vaheguru's purpose is to have babies, to bring soul into this sharir mein, into this body, and then let that soul go through his karam, and then it will be decided what to do. So killing the baby, regardless whether you are raped or gone through what, do not intervene. It is all hukum, or hukum is what has happened. Hukum is not yet what has not happened. Sabna likhya buri kalam. The God's pen is ever flowing. For example, there is a marijuana on the table. Choice. Now you have to decide, you're going to smoke that marijuana or you're not going to smoke that marijuana. You smoke that marijuana, that becomes a hukum. You did not smoke that marijuana, it became a hukum. But before that, it was just a choice. So when a girl is raped and the soul is given into that body or the baby, that is a hukum. Now what do you do with that will become a next hukum. Why Guruji is not worried about the rest?
Thank you on that, Ameet ji. Just on the timeline and the history and everything else, totally follow and totally understand that in the 1500s, the 16th century, 15th century, when Guru Nanak came to this earth, and the Mughal invasions followed by the European invasions, totally understand it, totally in concept agree that a lot of atrocities were happening in those days, those forced conversions and rapes and pillaging and everything else, and the bounties that, like you say. But if we turn the clock from 400 years ago, 1600 something, and we come up to 2000 something, we've had a lot of development scientifically. We've had a lot of scientific development since just the last 30, 40 years. So if we're talking about hukum, is development of science, the advancement of science, also hukum? And now that science can determine through x-rays, through sonograms, and technology that is available to us, the viability of life, the quality of life, and we can see the heartbeat through the sonograms and the x-rays. If through medical testing they detect a problem, and this is a real problem that we've experienced, I know of, and an expecting mother was told that her embryonic fluid had depleted, and the chance of the survival of the baby in her womb was maybe less than 1%. And she was not going to be able to carry it to full term. In that situation, with the science being accepted and the technology being accepted as hukum because it's happened, using those tools for the benefit, instead of this individual going full term with a pregnancy and then having a stale birth, is it viable? And where, in your view, does Gurbani come in to say, hey, deal with this issue at hand, science has given us the tools, and move with life? Because progressing this and prolonging that pregnancy would probably have caused problems to the mother too. Yes, allow Guruji and Vaheguru to provide their guidance and everything like you've said, but does the hukam piece come in? Because one hukam which is already there from Vaheguru, science and technology, has given us a vision of what may be, and in this case, a possible stillbirth.
The life itself. Let's remove science. Miscarriage happens by itself. Nothing to do with science. When the baby is not fully formed or the soul hasn't come to it, miscarriage happens. Stillbirth happens. And that is the creation by the Vaheguru. Has nothing to do with science. We are just only able to know that the baby is not going to survive. But then the mother has a discharge system. Then the baby is not going to be fully born with the soul, or the body has not developed, or the mom's body is weak. Then there's a discharge happens by itself. If science has brought us the power to save the mom, wherein before might not be saved, then we save the mom. Because Guru Har Rai built hospitals. When even Jahangir's son, Dara Shikoh, was even brought to Guru Har Rai for treatment. So hospitals were built not only for human being, but Guru Har Rai built the hospitals for animals too. He had a sanctuary for the animals that were had. He built the zoo and the sanctuary, and we had the veterinary system built up, also the hospital. So yes, when it comes to that matter of that, this Guru Har Rai has showed us that we need to bring science to save people wherever needed. Okay. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more there now, because it's a broad question. Section 4, Chapter 10, Article 15, line I in Sikh Rahat Maryada. It says there, Sikh shall not kill his daughter, nor should he maintain any relationship with the killer of daughter. I know it's a little diversion from your question, but I like to add that in. That because you brought the topic of ultrasound and knowing things. Sikh Rahat Maryada was not from 1400 or 1500 or 1600. Sikh Rahat Maryada is finalized in 1945. That's when ultrasound came in. And sex selection abortion. India killed 22 million girls in abortion from 1987 to 2016. It is not a problem of Punjabi culture. It's a culture of India. So in 1945, by knowing by the sex gender, you cannot kill. If you do kill, you'll be excommunicated from Sikhi. Very clear. And Rahat Maryada is our hukum. Sikh Rahat Maryada is our hukum. Because Sikh Rahat Maryada has been built from the Guru Granth Sahib Ji and all the poti of the Gurus. And all the scholars sat down from all over the world and finalized it. And all Amritsar Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee and all the 5 Taksal agreed on it. So it is a hukum to us. I hope I answered your question.
Well, thank you, Ameet ji. That actually is a very good concluding topic, because it adds definition to the process of abortion. I totally agree with you that many people in the South Asian community, Indian community, have done sex selective abortions, and you've picked up in Sikh Rath Maryada where that is prohibited. And in terms of our topic for today, American Supreme Court, the right for abortion, and the theological aspect from Sikhi, I think you've enlightened us, and I hope the audience is enlightened also, and they pick up on this. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your exchange of information, and thank you for this topic. I know there's other pieces that come in legally, but we're going to have to hold those for another time because of time constraints. But thank you very much. I appreciate this insight into abortion and Sikhism. Thank you, Ameet ji, and we'll meet again some other time. ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਸੋਚ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਮੈਂ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਕਾਲੀਰਾਏ, ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਅਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਫਗੋੜਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਨਾਲ, ਜੋ ਸੈਕਰਾਮੈਂਟੋ ਤੋਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ। ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖੀ, ਰਹਿਤ ਮਰਿਆਦਾ ਔਰ ਸਿੱਖਿਜ਼ਮ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਸਮਝਾ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ, ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਬਾਰੇ, ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਹੱਕ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਕੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਅਬੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਬਾਰੇ, ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਸ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਦੇਵੋ, ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਗਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ। ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਸੋਚ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ। ਮੈਂ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਕਾਲੀਰਾਏ।